All right, girls, we are going to work on identifying different parts of our line segments, the arrays. It's going to all help us with the properties of the lines and angles, okay? So let's start. This first one up here, we obviously have our shape here, and Miss Cavallini drew it, and it's not perfect, but it's going to work for us. So our first question says a line segment. Can anyone name a line segment found? Mackenzie, can you tell me one?
BG.
B, right here, all the way to G. They both have our points, so they're line segments, okay? Now, my question is, labels are really important. How do I label a line segment?
You're going to put a line with 2 dots at the end.
Correct. So I'm going to do B, G, and I'm going to label it correctly. Okay. Can anyone else give me another line segment found in R? Yeah?
C and H.
Yeah, C and H. Correct. So I'm gonna write 2 line segments on the line. Now this doesn't really like me when I do the line segments. I don't know. And in our book, we see that it just has the lines above it. So we know either to look for it with the line segments with the 2 points on the end or just the straight line. Okay, now a right angle. They don't try to trick us, right? Now, we know what identifies an angle as being a right angle. Ashley, what does what do all right angles typically have?
A little square.
Yeah, the little square in the corner. So we have a square right here. Now my picture isn't drawn perfectly, but can you name the angle that is the right angle?
J.
So it's angle J, but how do we write that?
J, E, F.
Hold on. Remember, 3 angles, and your vertice, the point by the square, is going to be your middle letter. So it's going to be angle
E, J, F.
Perfect. E, J, F. Because that is our right angle. Now, we could have labeled it just angle J, correct?
Yeah.
But that doesn't help us as much as writing it as our 3 angles because we know exactly where on our shape that we're talking about, okay? Obtuse angles, remind me, what is an obtuse angle?
Obtuse angle is where you have a straight line and it slants down.
Yeah, it's greater than how many degrees, Hannah?
90.
90 degrees, yeah, because 90 degrees is what? Ashley, you just told me. It is a what kind of an angle?
Right angle?
Yeah, it's a right angle. So obtuse angles are any angle greater than 90 degrees. Now we can put a corner of our paper in those angles and line it up to see. So by using our paper, now we can't see that on the screen, but who can name an obtuse angle for me? Mackenzie, do you see one?
F, J, E.
Well, what do we know about this angle J? It is a what kind of an angle?
Right?
Can right angles be obtuse angles?
No.
No. So let's look at around the shape. Let's look for a different angle.
D, E, F?
Yeah. Angle, oops. D, E, F is an obtuse angle. Does anyone see any other obtuse angles? Hannah?
G, F, C.
Perfect. Angle G, F, C. So those are 2 obtuse angles. Okay, now acute. What are acute angles? They're so cute. They're
Where
cute.
you have
I love how you're using your arm.
a straight line and then a little bit of crooked line.
Right. So is it bigger than 90 degrees or smaller than 90 degrees?
Smaller.
Smaller. So we have our acute angles that are smaller than 90 degrees. We have 90 degrees, which are going to have our little boxes in the angle, and then we have acute or obtuse angles that are greater than 90 degrees, correct? Can anyone identify an acute angle?
DEC.
Perfect. Angle, and remember we have to always label the angle DEC. Any other acute angles that we see?
BJA.
BJA. That looks kind of like an acute angle. That one's a little tough because my picture makes it look acute, but it might not be because of this right angle, but according to the picture, it is acute. So let's put it on there. BJA. Okay, now rays. What do we know about rays? They have
an arrow on one end and then a point on the
Yes,
other.
they have a point, and then they have an arrow that goes on and on and on. So who can identify a ray from the picture? A. Yes, good. You guys combine those thoughts. J-A. Now, can I just write it like this?
No. No. You have to put a line and then one dot at the end and then a point.
A point and an arrow, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so J-A is a ray. What, do we have any other ones? There's a bunch of them, isn't there?
Yeah.
Can you give me one more?
G.
That's the arrow point of the ray, but where's the starting point? Yeah, F, G. Okay. Now, it says to classify angle DEF. So where is DEF? Right here, right?
Yeah.
Classify. That means name the type of angle. Angle DEF. What type of angle is that? We have 3 different ones to pick from, true? Oh, we have 4 different types of angles, don't we? We have acute. We have obtuse. We have right. And then what's that other one we haven't talked about yet? Straight angle, yes, absolutely. So angle DEF, what type of angle is that?
Right angle?
Well, if it was a right angle, it would have a little square in the angle, does it? If we put our paper, if we line it up, is it greater than 90 degrees or less than 90 degrees?
Less. Greater.
Greater than. So angle DEF is a obtuse angle. Okay, now we're going to classify the angle EJF. EJF. Now what do we see?
Right angle.
Right away we know it is a right angle. Okay. Now, we talked about a straight angle. Can anyone tell me what one is? And I'm just going to highlight it in red since we didn't talk about it.
C and H?
Yeah. Well, there's going to be at least 3 points on it. So, angle CEH. Awesome. All right. Sounds great. Thank you, girls.